Hello out there. My name's Ken MacLeod. I'm the founder of Sistema New Brunswick, and it's my pleasure to see you and to make this final presentation of the Congress. Now, you are the intrepid warriors. You're here right to the end. Thank you very much. In fact, I think we should all get a prize, don't you? For everyone that was here to the end, you all get an iPhone 17. How about that? I don't know if Brian has it in the budget, but you can call him or send him an email. Let him know I said it was okay. We're few in number, but we're strong in spirit. These sessions are being recorded. So as far as we are all concerned, there are 298 people in the hall this evening. Can we all agree on that? Everyone okay? 298. Okay, fantastic. So my title is Making Good Sounds is Just Not Good Enough. It's an odd title, isn't it, for a conference on the impact of music. Making good sounds is just not good enough, especially if you're a boy like Stephen. So Stephen was 9, his hair was disheveled, his clothes were old and worn. He didn't have a cello strap to hold his instrument. So he took his belt off, put the flat end under the chair leg, and he used the belt buckle to secure his instrument to the floor. He took his seat, and when the conductor signaled, he threw himself into the music with complete abandon. Instantly, Stephen was transformed, no longer a child of poverty. The pleasure of the moment was exquisite. The room was awash in sheer joy. We were dazzled. The future was bright. Stephen and the rest of the kids transported us and transported themselves to a new place where everything is possible. The incredible power of their own accomplishment was tangible, and the nurturing impact of playing music together was on prominent display. Well, that's the transformative power of music, and that's one of hundreds of stories I could share since we started Sistema New Brunswick 17 years ago. But that doesn't happen by accident. In fact, it's a choice. It's one that became clear to me and to others that making good sounds just isn't good enough. Instead, we chose to harness the promise of music to change lives. So let me back up just a little bit. In 2009, the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra had existed for just over 4 decades. It was a very traditional youth orchestra program. 70 kids, the best talent in the province, chosen every year by audition, and largely they came from middle and upper income families. Now, as parents, we all saw how our children were benefiting from that experience. But we also began to think about the kids that were left out. And not just left out of the NBYO, but left out of all the good things that life has to offer a young person. And so we thought to ourselves, surely we can do better than this. But to act on that conviction required a massive change in our organizational culture and our focus. We knew we'd never lose our drive for excellence and beautiful music. That drive took our kids to perform at Carnegie Hall in New York and the Forbidden City Concert Hall in Beijing, China. But we realized a sober truth, and that is to pursue change, we had to change. At every turn in society, we are confronted by immense challenges: poverty, income inequality, exclusion, insecurity, conflict, opportunity gap, the loss of hope. And so I've come to believe that making good sounds just isn't good enough anymore. Musicians, music making, and music education organizations, we have a wider responsibility to the community and to the society that we live in. So our focus is to be better musicians and better teachers, yes, but also to be better citizens. Our mission must include not just higher levels of musical accomplishment for the few, but the creation of better futures for all. And so music in the orchestra is not the only tool for effecting social change, but after a week together like we've had here at the Promise of Music, I'm even more convinced that music is unusually potent to bring about positive, profound change in the society. Now today, Sistema New Brunswick is a network of children and youth orchestras across our province. We have 74 teaching artists on our staff team, and every day 1,450 children gather to learn how to play orchestral music together. And so social change became the new lens for us, and we view everything through that new lens, and it starts with our mission statement: inspire children and youth to achieve their full potential. Well, that's a social mission, and we do that through learning and performing orchestral music. So our organization, as a result, has been transformed. More important than that, the results for children have been profound. They attend school more consistently, their behavior improves, their grades go up, they show more confidence and self-esteem. They also reach impressive levels of musical performance, far beyond what anyone thought was possible. So the children are teaching themselves their own capacity, and then recognizing their capacity can be transformational in their life. This year alone, all of our graduates are continuing to higher education. 3 are studying medical science, plus history, biology, physics, psychology, engineering, and others. 3 are pursuing music performance degrees at the University of Toronto, the Royal Conservatory, and Western, all with major scholarships. 5 of our Sistema New Brunswick alumni, these are kids who went through our program beginning in grades 1, 2, or 3, progressed through our children's orchestra, regional youth orchestra, provincial youth orchestra, and they've completed performance degrees at universities, and they are now employed as teaching artists in our Sistema New Brunswick program this year. When people are left out in the society, they're not just at risk. The risk is already a reality for those kids. They're being harmed. There's devastating consequences. When they have no opportunity, no options, no way to belong, to grow, to thrive, they lose precious potential, and their futures are jeopardized unless the community finds a different path. So that's what we've been learning about this week, and that's why I have been so thrilled and excited to be here. That's why I'm delighted by the theme of the conference, the promise of music. We're learning about the power of music, music and the promise of childhood, music as a path to understanding, music and social impact, music, reconciliation, and healing, the promise of music. Music changes lives. So as we prepare to wrap up, what about that promise of music? Used that way, I think we can begin to think about potential and inherent capacity and unrealized possibilities. I would apply that description, in fact, to each and every person. The promise of music is that it can unlock the promise of our humanity. But I hope we go farther than that. I live in a world every day where I'm humbled and touched by the stories of the Stephens and hundreds of others. I'm more convinced than ever before that talent is universally distributed in the world, but opportunity is not. And yet, when given opportunity, Stephen and hundreds and thousands others like him experience beauty not only in the music, but also in their lives. So can we leave here today ready and committed to make that promise to more people? Can we find the strength and the courage of our passion enough to keep that promise? That's how we change the world, one piece of music, one person at a time. I want to extend my comments to talk a bit about the breathtaking scope and sweep of the first Promise of Music World Congress. We've experienced so much. The Virtuoso Orchestra from Dubai, using music to promote women's empowerment. Laura Somos from Venezuela, the programs for young people with special needs from the great El Sistema, showing that music can be learned and made by everybody, totally inclusive. The Jerusalem Youth Chorus, 50% Palestinian, 50% Jewish Israelis, showing us that the dialogue and compassion embodied in music can build bridges of understanding as we strive for a more peaceful and a better world. The Afghan National Institute of Music, the Recycled Orchestra, Sinfonia por el Peru, each of them showing that music is an unstoppable force that no obstacle, oppressive force, or barrier of economic disadvantage can defeat. And to all the brilliant, illuminating, profound speakers at these forums, their very ideas carry weight and meaning and illumination, and will provide the basis for lots of future conversations that will advance the cause of bringing music into the lives of the world's children. Now, I've been excited. I know you have as well, even thrilled to meet a whole variety of people, the musicians, their teachers, from all across the planet, whose work can serve as a model. Even more inspired by the friendships and connections that have already been established and the future collaborations that are already being planned among those who attended the Congress. The Promise of Music has sown the seeds of a planetary movement which will gain force, it will gain numbers, it will gain influence to advance the vision of the World Congress. I believe what's happened this past week is just the first small step. Now, at the heart of music is the human heart. Music expresses all emotions, but at its core, it's an expression of love. The love of children is as universal as music. So let's join together and extend that love across the planet. As music flourishes, so will future generations. Finally, I would end with a challenge and a plea. To policymakers everywhere, learn from this Congress, listen to it. Think of a life without music in your own lives. And then think when budget time comes, how investing in music in every classroom, in every after-school program, every community will save hundreds of billions of dollars, and more importantly, build stronger, healthier future societies, prosperous societies, more productive societies, right here in Canada and around the world. A plea to parents and teachers to become advocates, gentle but insistent. Don't let the music be taken away from your children. Don't let their lives become less rich and full than they might be because they didn't have a chance to find their own voice through singing, playing, and making music. So that's our plea, our urgent and insistent plea, that we join together, that we make music education a fundamental human right for every child. I'll close with this. Justin was one of 3 kids. He lived with his family below a line that we would call poverty. Justin was 7 years old. He was already on a difficult path. He was caught stealing several times. He was acting up in school. He had poor marks. At such a young age, Justin was already labeled a troublemaker. One day, musicians from Sistema New Brunswick showed up at his school. He got to hold and pluck a violin. He heard them play the music. He loved the sound, and he thought to himself, I wonder if I could ever do that. He filled out the form. He got his mother to sign it, and he waited. A kid like him, he couldn't imagine he'd be accepted, but he was. He entered Sistema New Brunswick. He began to advance on the violin. His teacher gave him extra lessons. And unusual for him, he was now being singled out for doing well, really well. Almost immediately, he became more focused and a better student. Showing promise, Justin was entered into the local music festival. He won gold and first place. He had his picture on the front page of the newspaper. He was selected to play at a festival gala. And for that occasion, for the first time in his life, his family bought him a new set of clothes. When he finished playing, there are no words in the English language to describe the emotional embrace between Justin and his parents at the front of the stage. That's the promise of music. So, can we leave here ready, committed to make that promise to more people? Can we find the strength and the courage of our passion enough to keep that promise? Let's continue the momentum of this Congress to join together and make education, music education, a fundamental human right for every child. Thank you very much. Thank you. And your iPhones are on the table on the way out.
Well, you made it. On behalf of the Glenn Gould Foundation, I want to thank Ken for some inspiring remarks. I want to thank all of you who made it through to the end with really two announcements. Number one is I hope to see you all in the spring when the Glenn Gould Foundation inaugurates our 15th laureate, Sir Elton John, and it should be quite an event. The second thing is to remind you that all of these sessions, by definitely Monday, if not tomorrow, will be on the internet in terms of the Glenn Gould Foundation's website and on YouTube on the Gould Standard. I apologize for our name, but it's a bit of a pun. And so that please share all of these sessions with the people that you hold dear, that are out working away in the trenches to make the promise of music happen. I want to close with a remark that actually comes from our minister that I actually thought was appropriate, who said at the end of a Sunday service that the worship is over, let the service begin. So anyway, congratulations, you made it. Thank you so much. We'll see you hopefully in 2 years when we'll get it better. Thank you.
And you might want to mention that Bob Ezrin is not
Oh, thank you. I don't know if anyone told you that Bob Ezrin was sick and could not make it. So this is our final act. Thanks. Goodbye.